Welcome everyone to the Predictive Playbook. We're here at Manny's Irish Pub. As soon as I get rid of this little video clip, I would appreciate feedback on that and see what you guys think. What I'm trying to do, obviously, is promote and show all the cast of professional sports bettors that are regulars on this daily Monday through Friday show that airs at 4 o'clock, 4:15, in that range, Eastern Standard Time each day. And I couldn't be more fortunate to have that type of caliber of intelligence, on this show. So I really appreciate that. But feel free to give me some feedback. You can direct message me at John Ryan Sports with the number 1. Also, a couple administrative things to get out of the way. I'm on a 16-6 Major League Baseball run, 73% winners, $19 over at sportsmemo.com. Gets you the 3 best bets of my card for that $19. sm.buzz/JR. Again, that's SM as in sportsmemo.buzz, BUZZ/JR. $19. 3 best bets, 73% run. Everything's starting to heat up, and it doesn't surprise me because football is right around the corner, and I just absolutely can't wait. I also have a free pick video that is on at Sports Memo TV. Involves the Florida Atlantic Owls and the Florida Gators, September 4th. This is a game that I think is worthy to be bet now. And I explain in the whole research report and also on the video why that is. And it's one of the few times I can remember in the last 5 years where I'm putting 50% of a normal bet on a college football game that is 32 days away from its kickoff. So let's waste no further time here. Let's get right to the Major League Baseball angle of the day while we wait for Tony Finn and Rob Veno to join me in about 15 minutes or so. I think Tony Finn, here looking at my notes here, will probably be on in about 6 or 7. But this game is the Marlins and the Mets. 7 o'clock Eastern tonight, August 2nd, 2021. Tyler McGill against Jesus Luzardo, a lefty for the Marlins. However, this has not been confirmed, and I put him in thinking that was going to be the case. As you'll see here, it doesn't matter who starts for the Marlins. This is a bet on both offenses scoring runs and hitting the ball at a much higher rate than their average season-to-date rate. And the Marlins here and the Mets, the Mets are the home team. And let me just bring up one little fact here first. Just bear with me. These monologues can be pretty hard to do sometimes. Here we go. So this game is in Miami, and I have that on the chart as looking like the other way around. But this game is in Miami. I just wanted to double check that. So we're going to bet on the home team, which is the Marlins here. The host, which is the Marlins, has a bullpen with an ERA of 3.75 or lower on the season, and the Marlins have had an excellent bullpen throughout this year. The guest, being the Mets, has a starting pitcher allowing no more than 1 earned run in each of his last 2 outings. That would be Tyler McGill. And our guest, the Mets, are certainly batting worse than 240 on the season. So the combination of these parameters has gone 60-30 for 67% winning bets, making 31 units over the last 5 seasons. So that means that if you bet $100 blindly on this set of parameters over the last 5 seasons, you'd be up $3,100, which is very good. It's the same thing with a dime better. They'd be up 31 grand. That's very good for them as well. So the next side of my screen here, we have the on-deck circle, 16-6, as I said. And we have 3 top-rated Major League Baseball bets going Monday. And you can get them now over at sm.buzz/JR. And my hot streaks here are right there again. But this is the most important one. It's 65.9% against the spread, 4 and 5% winners. in the NFL in 2020. That was the best at sportsmemo.com of everyone that was on that site. 73.5%, 25-9, and one push the last 35. NFL and NCAA football combined, 13-3 total streak is what that is supposed to say for Major League Baseball, and 70% in the last 25, going back to June 15th, in Major League Best Bet Totals, and also 61% against the spread last 5 Canadian Football League seasons. And I will be providing the CFL this year at sportsmemo.com along with everything else. So there you have it for the record keeping here. We try not to hype too many things. In fact, we don't, and we just like being transparent with the record keeping, and that is a good thing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to steadily bring up some of my machine learning tools, and this is another factor and also another process I go through each day for the baseball games. And what this does is it produces, I'm a certified Twitter developer, and I get to use a lot of the packages that Python has, which is literally tens of thousands. And on this particular screenshot here, this is the hashtag Jump Totals Miami, and August 2nd, as you can see, and it found 1,111 tweets, and I just came up with that number because 1111 is a very lucky number. And what it shows you is that there have been 618 neutral wordage tweets, and this is a package that is out of MIT that consists of about 10,000 stop words, as they're called. And it also, the package understands which ones are negative, which ones are positive. So you have 356 tweets in which there was a word within that repository that was positive, 137 that were negative, and the neutral is 618. So for the fish here, we have 12.3% negative tweets, 32% positive, 56% neutral. This is very good for a last place team. This is very good. The fan base is not, threatened to, say Manny should get out of town, or this team is the worst team ever on the face of the earth. They're actually very supportive. The fan base and betting community is for the Miami Marlins. So now we're going to pull up the next one here, and you'll see that this one here is the Nationals. And the Nationals are much worse, right? Because they just went through wholesale changes and sold out the key players on their roster. Schertzer's not there, and a host of others are not there. Disappointing season among the fan base and the betting community, so you would expect this to be what it is. What is interesting is that it's lukewarm. It's not really highly negative. It's not really highly positive either. And it's kind of neutral, 56%. So this is kind of a sentiment where there's no real feeling either way. The organization did what they had to do, and as a result, we'll look forward to next year and a much better record. And after all, it wasn't too long ago that they won the World Series, so that helps as well. Now let's move on to another one here, and this is going to kind of show a little bit different story. This is going to be, this was just an example of how people, I was just curious how people make mistakes with their tweets. So you have Natitude spelled wrong. It's only one T, but look how many tweets came up on it. And by the way, it pulls the entire tweet and puts it into a spreadsheet. So for every time I run this, I have a spreadsheet with 1,111 rows of valuable data that provides insight above and beyond even this. So it's really, my humble opinion, it's really cool stuff. So here we have 46% positive, 23%, 31% neutral, but it's because they spelled it wrong. Okay, so we got that one. Now let's pull up the next one here. And Now this is Let's Go Mets as of this morning. These were running at about 7 a.m. Well, actually more like 5:30 to 6 a.m. And here you can see Let's Go Mets 41% positive, 20% negative, 39% neutral. So obviously with all the moves that were made, it really gets people excited about the Mets, especially their fan base, especially the people who like to back them with their hard-earned money. So we're going to see here, as the fish were more positive but not overwhelmingly positive, the calculations that then go through using this information come up with a contrarian play on the fish tonight. And this is just one application of all the database stuff that I have. Doesn't take that long to run because it's now automated, but it goes through 1,111 tweets for each team, and we get some pretty good stuff out of this. Now we'll go another step further, and this one I think is going to be a good one here. This is the Phillies, and for Philadelphia here, this is pretty remarkable, to say the least. 7.8% negative, 36.2 positive, 56% neutral. So the moves that they made, bringing in Kyle Gibson, and Ian Kennedy, for example, really has this fan base fired up, and for good reason. So only 87 negative tweets, as you can see there, out of the 1,111 were negative. So this is a very positive. This puts Philly on my radar every single day as a possible bet. But there's a whole, gauntlet of other things that have to be done before that is confirmed as a bet. Now let's take a look at the next one here. And I promise you there's not too many left. So now this is the hashtag for the A. So that would be the Atlanta Braves. And mixed bag here. This is a little bit more negative than what Atlanta's been trending. But again, even though they're only 4 games out of first place, they really were pretty quiet in the trading deadline market, and the results are kind of lukewarm. So 645 of those 1,111 tweets are tweets that are on the fence. They were neither supportive nor not supportive of the Atlanta Braves. So the teams that are the most interesting to me right now are the Fish, the Marlins, of course, and the Phillies. So I hope that gives you a pretty good introduction to what we do with some of this information that we can get and then apply to the sports betting markets. So still waiting for these guys to come in. I know they're really super busy. In the NFL, I had done some stuff that was quite interesting a while back, and maybe we can revisit that. So the Westgate has put up odds for all the NFL games from Week 7. Here, I'll move over here. For Week 7, here I'll go like this, right? I'll just hide behind the pole. Anyway, I'll stop being dumb there. But anyway, the Westgate has put up betting odds for all games, side and total. And you can see here, this is a list of what the visitors of every single game are going to score on average against every team. So with the league averages, that the road team is going to average 22.7 points per game. And the worst defense at home is going to be the Texans, who are going to allow 26.1. And what I do is I take the total, you divide that by 2, you take the line, you divide that by 2, and you add them together. So, for example, if the line was 50 for a total and the Texans were 10-point underdogs, that would be 50 divided by 2 is 25, plus 10 divided by 2 is 5. That means they would be giving up 30 points, and they would be scoring 20. The 30 equals the 20, equals 50 for the total. The net difference is 10. That's the betting line. So I do that for every single one of the 274 games of the regular season. And we come up with some really interesting stuff. And the last one I'll show here, because Rob Veno is backstage, is this is I call it age score. So this is the home team score I don't want to show that one yet. I'll show this one. This one is that's the total number of points, and this one is the score by the visitor. So in road games, this is what these teams and what the market is telling us are going to average this coming season. So if you're a Patriots fan, you can look down there in the middle. You'll see that in road games, they're expected to score 22.5 points per game. Now, of course, they're not going to score 22.5 every single game. They might score 30 in one game. They might score 14 in another. But after the fourth week, we're going to have a benchmark now to measure. So if, say, the Patriots are averaging 27 points per game on the road, we know that that team has the potential of outperforming what the market had originally thought before the season even started. And this is where I think we're going to get some really, really great value. But let's bring in Rob Veno now, and I'll end my monologue. Hey, Rob, what's going on?
Good afternoon, John. I see you there preaching some NFL stuff.
Yeah, trying to. I did the MLB game of the play of the day with the betting system. It's on the Marlins. And for your purpose, I'll review it. We might as well take a quick stab at it. Right here. So we have the Marlins at the Mets, and we're going to bet on the home team, which is the Marlins. And the host has a bullpen, and we all know the Marlins have a great bullpen. It's the best part of their team. 3.75 or lower in the season. And the guest, who is the Mets, has a starting pitcher in McGill, who is not allowed an earned run, not more than an earned run in each of his last two outings. And we all know the Mets can't hit the ball, so there's no question they're batting under 240 for the season. And all those match and are checked off. That produces a 60-30 record, making 31 units over the last 5 seasons. So that is the first free pick that I gave out.
Very nice. And
How
for
was
the
your weekend?
Marlins, the weekend was good, John. Real quick, just back to your Marlins. For the Marlins, you said the bullpen, the best part of their team, and tonight looks like, although there's no formally announced pitcher yet, it's going to be a bullpen game. So we'll see quite a bit of that Marlins bullpen here in this contest. The weekend was good. Actually, Major League Baseball has been a struggle for me all season long until last week. Now 21-5. Last 26 plays had a 13-2 weekend. So
awesome.
I think that the trade deadline helped. There seemed to be some voids to me over the weekend for teams, whether it be holes in the bullpen, whether it be holes on offense, whether it be better on offense, whatever it was. Took advantage of some spots, and they just all happened to click. I mean, sometimes that happens. Everything clicks.
I agree.
We have times where, like Tony said, in extra inning games, he like 16 times, 2 and 14. Somehow he was always on the wrong side. And then sometimes the opposite of that happens, which is what happened for me, the good side of everything. So, baseball's a long season, and you can go as long as you have the money management, which we try and preach here every day, right, and the discipline. You can stay in the ballpark until that hot streak comes, and then all of a sudden you can turn your entire season around. So hopefully we're in the midst of that right now, but it's been a real good run so far. Tonight a little bit of a short card, so there wasn't a lot available, and a whole bunch of huge favorites, right, on the slate tonight. A lot of $2 plus. So we'll see. There's another 7 series starting tomorrow, and we'll probably get back at it at that point. But, yeah, it was good. We're going to have to try and track some NBA free agent moves tonight, because this is the start of what they call legal tampering, right? Legal tampering happens at 6:01, except that you can tell. Oh, my goodness. We could tell that it's a phony term because it starts at 6, and by 6:03 there's already been 30 new free agents signed. So something was going on during the illegal period. And we're going to find out how much was going on during the illegal period come 6 o'clock tonight. Not that far from now, about 90 minutes from now on the East Coast.
Yeah, that's going to be good stuff, and you're absolutely right. It's amazing how many deals get done in 3 minutes. It never worked that fast on Wall Street when I was up there. It took more like 3 weeks. But that does point to the the meetings that probably occur at the clubs and in the prestigious gyms and Lord knows where else.
Yep. A lot of high-powered people.
Yep.
For the last 30 days or so, probably been plotting and talking. And they know the direction of their team, and we're just going to find out about it now because it's legal to say so now. But obviously, a lot of this stuff has already been agreed upon, and we're going to find out. So it'll be crazy because we just went through all the trades on the trade deadline. We went through the NBA draft last week. You're trying to keep track of all the personnel that's going back and forth. And 3 days later, we'll be right back at it again because there's going to be a lot of personnel switches here. I don't think in the NBA, John, although they'll announce them today, I don't think they become official until like the 8th of August. It takes a week for it to totally become official. So unofficial roster moves that'll be made during a legal tampering period that was decided upon during the illegal period. A lot of red tape that they might as well just cut through and say, here's what's going on. We'll find out.
Yep. And those contracts, I don't know if anybody's out there in the chat room has ever seen a professional sports contract. It's thick. It's more than a couple pages and a promissory note. It involves every single state the players play in because there's, just on a surface, there's state taxes that have to be paid because the game is taking place in that state. So I don't know how many state tax returns a NBA player or Major League Baseball or NFL even have to file, but it's one for every state that they play in. Be a lot easier if they just charge like a flat fee, I think, of 17% of what you make, but that's a different show.
Yeah. Then there'd be nowhere to flock to for 0% tax states.
That's true, like Delaware. Yeah. So I read this one. I was trying to hold off until Tony gets in the stage here, but we can backtrack with him. I did right here. Home favorites of minus 150 or more pre-flop that are leading or tied at the end of the fifth inning. In this season, straight up, there are 301 and 55 for 84.6% winners. Average line has been 192.6, 29% ROI. And actually, the play to make is the run line. It only hits at 64%, but you're getting such a better line, averaging a 104.4 dog before the game on the run line for a 31% ROI. So it's 31 versus 29. It's not that much, but pretty significant. And then there's a lot of big favorites. So let's see, minus 200. These are home favorites of 200 leading or tied at the end of the fifth. 123 and 13, 90.4%. Average line minus 233. It's amazing we've had that many games over 200 this year, but the league is different. That's a 29% ROI, just like the one before it, but the run line becomes 38% and jumps up another 8% over the minus 150 favorite. 101 wins, 35 losses when a favorite of minus 200 or greater is tied or leading at the end of the fifth.
So those, real quick, just listening to you, those are current updated numbers on a subject that we were talking about a couple of months ago, right? Because Tony was saying he didn't think the difference between leading after the fifth and covering a run line was as great. Remember, his argument was can't trust bullpens anymore, so nobody's betting 9-inning games because bullpens give away run lines. But according to the numbers, not so true. Numbers show you that if you're leading after 5, you're still covering run lines and getting a pretty solid return on investment.
Excuse me. That came out of nowhere. But let's take a look at home teams here, because this is where I think the real thought was. And if Tony's able to make it today, we can ask him. But if not, then we'll just table it till tomorrow. It's not a big deal. But when the line is, and this is again pre-flop, home teams favored by minus 125 or less, or a dog of 125 or less that is leading or tied at the end of the fifth in the 2021 season are, believe it or not, 121 and 45, 35% ROI. The run line is just 88 and 78 for 53%. But because you get a 163 pre-flop run line, you make 39% ROI. So it was very, very interesting to me. And of course, if you take road teams, it gets even better. So road teams that have a line of 125 favorite to a 125 dog, leading or tied at the end of the fifth, 244, 101, 42% ROI. The run line, 266, 78 for 77% and a 36% ROI. So the thing to do that of all the ones we've gone through so far, Rob, is away teams with a line between 125 dog, 125 favorite that is leading or tied at the end of the fifth. You then bet them. So the way this is working out, and trying to figure out the breakdown of what you do pre-flop, but just initially, if we had a game, I don't know, do we have any road teams that are lined between 125 and?
The Phillies actually tonight. Well, no, they're under 125. Well, you're saying
that'd be fine.
Minus and plus, right? So
yep.
They're about a dollar. Let's call them $1.20 favorite because that's what the consensus number says.
Okay, so then they qualify as a pick here, and then what I suggest is 50% pre-flop, so you get that. What did you say it was? Minus 110, 15.
We got them at consensus is saying minus 120. So just
okay.
An overall compilation of the casinos, minus 120.
And I want to be sure to write this down, too, so we can talk about it tomorrow when the Nationals win by 15.
With their newest addition to the starting rotation, Ranger Suarez.
Pretty cool stuff, I must say. So away minus 125, 125. And now we're leading at the end of the fifth or tied. Plays on the Phillies tonight. So that's a second free pick we have for the show. So because of this, you're going to bet 50% pre-flop at minus 120. And then if the Phillies are tied or winning at the end of the fifth, then you do the in-game money line, which I can't imagine is going to be that much more. One thing we ought to do, Rob, I just kind of thought of this. It's what makes these shows so fun. So, let's see, leading. So now what I'm doing is, you could be leading by 5 at the end of the fifth, but you're going to pay out the nose to play the rest of the game.
Yeah, or you're going to be laying 4.5 runs, right?
Yep. Yeah, so this makes sense. So leading or tied at the end of the fifth and not leading by more than 2 at the end of the fifth.
There you go.
So that lowers it just a little bit because obviously the games that they're leading by 5 or 6 or 7, any team's going to win those most of the time, unless Tony Finn is betting on them. I had to say it. He's not here. But 24% across the board straight up and run line. So that's make it like that. So road teams, minus 125 to plus 125 that are leading by less than 2 or fewer runs and are tied and not losing in the 2021 season are 147 and 91 for 62% and a 24% ROI.
There you go.
Yep.
And just to clarify for those that have never heard Tony speak on full game run line situations, philosophically he's dead set against playing any home team laying 1.5 runs. He just won't do it. I do it at times just to get scolded by him, but I'm not afraid of that. But a lot of guys won't, John. The reason is obvious. If a home team is winning, they don't get their 9th at-bat. And that's why guys will shy away from it, because you're getting 8 at-bats as opposed to 9 if you are winning at the end of 8.5 games over. So, but Tony philosophically just won't do it. But that doesn't take away from what you've uncovered there, that if you're winning after 5, teams are still returning a pretty solid percentage if you bet them run line for the game. Even though we've seen bullpens blow up time and time again, it hasn't really, it turned betting run line into a deficit as long as you're winning after 5. So that is interesting, because when we watch with our eyes, that's what we see. We're like, oh my God, and I'm victim of it as well. I've played more 5-inning games this year than in my lifetime, because I'm scared to death of playing full game and having whatever team I'm on, if it's got a bullpen that's mediocre to below average, I don't want to deal with it innings 6 through 9.
Yep.
But it's somewhat, the numbers that you're giving us tell us that it is somewhat of a myth. It's just maybe they hurt more when we blow those leads and they seem like 10 instead of 1. But, yeah, it's interesting to say the least. It's very interesting. And I know Tony was inquiring about that specific thing earlier this year.
Yep.
Because he had gotten into I don't want to say an argument, but somewhat of a debate on the First Pitch show with some of the other guys, handicappers, that, it's not as bad as you think. Even though we do see bullpens giving up runs, it's not as bad as you think. Run lines still prevail. And I guess he was right way back in May or whenever we first started talking about that.
Yeah, we touched upon it on the show once or twice, and then we just got away from it. I kept meaning to put it on the show, and today I thought, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. No, it's good because they're current as of August 1. Those are good numbers. Yep. That's a real good sample size now.
So home teams on the run line. Let's see. The cardinal sin that Tony Finn says not to make. I'm just checking one thing here. All right, so that.
And again, real quick for those watching that aren't quite familiar with it, the difference between betting a road team run line minus 1.5. I want to use this: a road team favorite on the run line as opposed to a home team favorite on the run line. While you get those 9 at-bats with the visitor, the price difference is significant. If you're betting the home team, you're getting a much better price than if you're betting the visitor. You're probably getting 20 to 25 cents better by betting the home team. A road team minus 1.5 might be plus 105. A home team minus 1.5 will be somewhere in the plus 125, plus 130 vicinity. So you're getting better price there because of the one less at bat. So somehow, some way, it all tends to equal out, and it shows in your percentages of ROI, John, that although the record for home teams was lower, the ROI was just as well because you're getting better price with those home teams. You're getting fewer winners, but you're getting better price, which makes baseball unique from the point spread sports, right? You don't necessarily have to hit 58, 59% in baseball. You can do just fine hitting 50% and make a lot of money.
Well, here's home teams using the minus 1.5 run line that are favored between minus 150 and minus 195 in the 2021 season have been a money-burning 115 and 160 for 41%, averaging a 135 favorite line, losing the $100 better $2,850 for a negative 14% ROI. So that definitely says that Tony Finn is spot on with that comment.
Yeah, if you're betting real large, let's quantify it. If you're betting large home favorites, because I think you said minus 150 and above.
150 to 195.
So large home favorites on the run line, not getting you there in that price range. I don't know what $2 or better is doing. I don't know what minus 150 or lower is doing. But in that specific price range, you just heard the numbers. Beware. 150, 195. Not making you a lot of money this year.
No, and it's I'm basing the run line. I'm taking the favorite and then making the run line runs minus 1.5. So what that is that it's saying, okay, well the line for the money line had to be between minus 150, minus 195. and then it equates it back to the final score, win or lose, with the visitor getting 1.5 runs before we even start. So that's how that's being evaluated. But he's absolutely spot on. We should see what it does for.
Today we would only have 2 games in that situation because the other 3 favorites are all over $1.95. The really large favorites. There's a couple that fit in the 50 to 95 cent range. San Francisco and Tampa Bay. Well, no, Tampa Bay is actually nobody fits. Everybody's over $2 tonight.
Wow.
Nobody fits. So I don't know what better than $2 favorites are doing on the run line.
I can do that. Now I just did it for. Oh my God, this is going to blow your mind. So I just did this for minus 150 to minus 200. Home favorites, minus 1.5 run line the last 5 seasons. 968 and 1224 for 44%, but the ROI is minus 9%, losing a $100 better, $10,952.
About $2,000 a season. A little more than $2,000 a season.
That's brutal. So let's see now, one last one here, and we'll do something different. So favorites of minus 200. Home. Well, this is why you don't do it. So minus 200, you're straight up on the money line, betting home favorites of minus 200 or greater, 906 and 288 for a 76% win rate. But that's crap when people publish their records and say that I'm hitting 76% winners, and you find out they're betting 2-1 favorites, because that translates into a negative 5% ROI. So you go 76% winners and you lose money. In fact, over the last 5 years, you would have lost close to $22,000 doing that, betting $100 a game. 5 years betting 200 home favorites or more. You can tell your friends that you won 76% of them, but you can also tell them that you lost $22,000 in the process. That's nuts, isn't it?
Well, and subsequently, John, it's why you don't find any professional baseball bettors laying $2 in any game. They just won't do it. It's not something that anybody who bets every day does. Nobody plays $2 favorites, at least not in our circles.
No way.
There's guys, like myself, I hate to lay more. 150 is probably the ceiling for me, and very, very rarely will I even lay 150. The $2 favorites and above of the world are all your aces. They're your Max Scherzers. They're your Clayton Kershaws. They're all those guys. What they do at home laying 1.5 runs, I'm not sure. But certainly if you're ever going to play them, you don't play them laying 250, 280, because that's what happens. You win 700 more games than you lose, and you still lose money.
You're absolutely right. Just in 2021, you have Robbie Ray, Jose Berrios, Lance Lynn, Ross Stripling, Joe Musgrave, Kenta Maeda, Zach Greinke, never heard of him, Kevin Gausman, Tony Gonsolin, David Price, Oda Rizzi, Lance McCullers, Luis Garcia, Ryan Yarb. Well, that is borderline. There's Zach Greinke again, Zach Wheeler, Steven Matz, Ryu, Robbie Ray again, Gausman again. You're right. It's the same names.
Yeah, because and the guys, the pitchers you're naming, at least 7 of the last 10 all pitched for Houston, Toronto, or San Francisco. All teams that are 2 of the best offenses in baseball for sure. Houston and Toronto and San Francisco, the winningest team in baseball at this point in time. All the qualifications for being a $2 or better home favorite. Your top pitcher. In fact, when you said Ryan Yarbrough, that's Tampa Bay, so they must have been playing somebody that is a cellar dweller to be laying over $2 with Ryan Yarbrough. But that's what it takes to be that big of a favorite. And like I say, it's why guys don't play them. I just don't know anybody that goes out and plays money line $2 favorites in baseball or better. because it's suicide. If you like that team that much and you like that pitcher that much and you want to fade the opponent that much, then you chop it way down. A $2 favorite, in essence, you can probably find at -110, -105, on -115 tops on the run line. And that way, if you lose that game, -15 cents or 10 cents, not going to kill you. The
That's
$2
right.
is what will kill you.
Yes, it will, because you have to win 2 consecutive in a row to make up, just get even.
Right. So that's why nobody does it.
And here's another one to avoid. Jacob deGrom, in games in which his team was -200 and greater favorite in his career. Wow, he's 26-13 for 67% winners, but he's averaged a -246 favorite, and a $100 bettor ends up losing $350. But you went 26-13, so your friends will love you. I guess you don't have to tell them that you lost $350.
And boy, that 26-13, those 13 are courtesy of his teammates that give him. I mean, he has had the worst run support. He won a Cy Young Award with 9 wins on a season, right? Because there was no run support whatsoever. 26-13 for him with an offense like Houston or Toronto could have been, 31-10 or whatever. But the Mets, just when he takes the mound, for whatever reason.
Well, listen to this while I bring Tony Finn in.
Sure.
This part of the deGrom query. Of run support that deGrom has gotten in these 39 games where he's been a 200 or greater favorite, the Mets scored 0 twice, 1 run 3 times, 2 runs once, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times they scored 3 runs. So how many games is that now? 8, 9, 12, 14 of the 39 games they scored 3 or fewer runs.
That tells a pitcher when you take the hill, I better be perfect every time out or else I'm going to lose the game. Or else my bullpen's going to, take my 1-1 tie and turn it into a loss, which has happened to deGrom in the past as well. But, I mean, that year he won the Cy Young. That is, I don't know that you'll ever see that again. Tell you the God's honest truth. The guy wins 9 games and wins a Cy Young.
9 and 10, right?
Just absolutely crazy. But he was worthy of it.
Yep.
Just that his team brought nothing to the table to help him out. Tony, how are you today, buddy?
It's a good day.
It's a good day. All right.
Thanks for joining us, Tony.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm late, but I think we might as well. Well, no, I was going to say it will happen periodically. This time of year, I think all of us, anyone, you guys both, especially, schedule kind of beefs up a little bit this time of year, and it doesn't get any better. Really, it just doesn't get any better until February, and even then,
later.
Yeah, right. And then even then, we're still kicking. Hopefully, we're still kicking it with college basketball, NBA, hockey, yada yada yada. Then of course there's those other sports those other games that they call sports that people gamble on. So like golf, swimming, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's
Rob,
so true.
Rob, was that an insult?
No, it was an insult. Who am I to if I insult somebody, I got 5 coming back. So
We can talk about golf if you want.
No, unless it's John Daly.
Personally, I want to talk about first 5, and we'll do a quick review of what Rob and I talked about.
Yeah, I'd like that. I'd like to know. I'd like give me the lowdown.
So we just heard deGrom stats, right? So
that's nothing new. I've heard that before from somebody. Somebody told me those stats once. Go ahead.
You might not know this, but I kind of like Ben Simmons a little bit. But Major League Baseball, I like Clayton Kershaw.
You do?
Clayton Kershaw. When he has been a favorite of -200 or more, we saw that deGrom lost, what was it, 8%, Rob, ROI? Yeah, you lost like $550 or something. Kershaw,
you mean I apologize. So just so I'm crystal clear, you're talking about he's lost that return on investment is on is when he closes at minus 200 or more. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's right. That was a good question. Kershaw has averaged minus 257 in his career when he's been a 200 or more favorite.
Yes.
He's 110 and 33.
Yes.
So you can tell your friends that you hit 77% winners.
Yeah, still not enough.
But the difference between him and DeGrom was obviously run support because he has a positive 11.4% ROI, and he's made $3,200 for the $100 better. But that's pretty pathetic when you had to put $100 on every single one of his starts that he was minus 200, which is 143 games. That alone is remarkable. Yeah.
Okay.
That alone is amazing.
Well, what made here, John, 143. That's an average of minus 257, right?
Yes. Yep.
Hold on a second. Make sure it's not a beat writer. And here's the deal with that. I'm going to assume. I think all three of us would assume that if there was a few, and there'll be a few minus 220s, minus 210s that would balance out the minus 280 or 290 that he was. However, those minus 210s, well, every single one of those are inflated on top of everything else. It's inflated. So, truthfully, he probably wouldn't have had 143. But then if you're a minus 200 favorite, any pitcher, if it's you, if it's Rob, if it's me, and we're minus 200 in a game, something's wrong. It's inflated. I mean wrong, meaning it's inflated first and foremost. And while minus 200 favorites, I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but over the last half decade, or at least the last 2 or 3 years, they've, all things equal, they've been a winning proposition.
Yep, and here's one last one, and we'll do DeGrom just by comparison. I'm not trying to drill DeGrom. I'm trying to drill the Mets offense as being just like
yes.
double A.
Yeah, and not only that, listen, if you look, just to interrupt you again, if you look at the average runs per game for the Mets during DeGrom's career, and you look at the average runs per game for other teams, while the Mets haven't been over the top crazy good, it's not so drastic. It's just DeGrom. He's not, that's just one of those things that come along with being DeGrom or being like DeGrom or being the talent of a DeGrom. Everyone else on the Mets is human. They're not alien like DeGrom. And so when they say, hey, well, D's on the mound, we don't have to try very hard. And they don't. And it shows. And it becomes one of those, it's just one of those things that you cross the street, the same place every day for 10 years, and you never look either way, and you've never come close to hitting. One day, you get run over. Well, I'm not saying that's. I'm not comparing that to DeGrom. What I'm saying is we become creatures of habit, and we take things for granted that we should never take for granted. DeGrom is one of those guys. Yep. He is. It's horrible. By the way, he helped a tremendous amount. He helped pitchers in the future. They don't have to be 20-game winners to be Cy Young winners. He's a guy that kind of broke that, and I believe that will carry forward when you have guys that like DeGrom that aren't getting run support, or maybe they're playing on a losing team overall. Now listen, some of DeGrom's Cy Youngs, I don't know how many of them. How many does he have? 103?
I think 3, doesn't he?
Okay. Well, that's kind of what I meant, but I was trying to make it a better story. They weren't always. I don't think the Mets were always 500 or better, were they?
They shouldn't have
been. yeah. Unless DeGrom could pitch every night.
Other than Manhattan, it was just too many expressways and crossways and all kinds of stuff over that direction of the city, and I didn't really go over there much.
Yeah, you if you could, we wouldn't have looked both ways either, would you?
Oh, I mean, try to cross the Cross Bronx Expressway, for example. Good luck with that.
Yeah,
it's the Bronx.
Yeah, there you go. Major Deegan, all that.
That's a nightmare.
I mean, it's hard. I would never even make it. I wouldn't even make it. I'd stop at every pizza place in the Bronx. I'd never even make it to I'd never make it to Yankee Stadium.
For those that don't know it, I know you guys know it. Arthur Avenue in the Bronx is by far far the best bet to make for Italian cuisine.
No question.
And you're well protected by the locals. You're well protected.
Absolutely.
Who's going to screw with you down there?
A lot of Anthony's walking around. A lot of
And if somebody screws with you down there, they're suicidal anyway. So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. So anytime you're in New York,
frequent one of those places on Arthur Avenue, whether it be a bakery or a restaurant, you're gonna be pretty happy.
There's a pizza joint. I think it's called Pugley's. It's part of Fordham University, I think. Well, it draws that clientele, and the tables are all made out of wood that is ancient, and everybody carves their name into the furniture. So you have the ones like Ricky and Debbie Forever, but then you have regular names. Yes, once in a while there's one circled that is a pro baseball player. It's really cool. I think it's called Pugley's.
And there's also a few in there. There's a few in there where it says, I screwed up when I carved this in. It's not forever. Stuff like that.
Well, when I was doing mine, I asked the owner if I could have some whiteout. And he gave me another slice of pizza.
There you go.
That's right.
Told me not to talk so much. So let's look at the Clayton Kershaw here. Minus 170 or greater home favorite and getting 3 or more runs of support in his career. 87-15, 85%, 27% ROI, $5,270 profit based on the closing line. Now we're going to substitute Mr. DeGrom. And we're not saying Kershaw's better than DeGrom or the other way around.
No, what we're saying is that was before Dave Roberts came along, too. I want you to know.
I can add Dave Roberts here quick.
No.
That would be awesome to see, actually, because it would show how inept he is.
Well, we'd have to give some account. Some of the accountability has to go to Kershaw getting older. Some of it.
All right, so when DeGrom gets 3 or more runs in a home game, favored by minus 170 or greater, he's 22-8 for 73%. And that turns into about a 11% ROI. So not that bad, really. I mean, 30 games, betting 100, you make 425. I mean,
what was the ROI?
11.
11. That's over his career.
Yes.
Oh, that's too low.
That's too low, is right.
Well, he's been in the league 50 years. You can get better than that at Bank of America.
Now, here's a good stat. The over in this game, because of the Mets' inability to hit when he pitches, is 18-11 when they do score 3 or more runs. Because the totals are probably 6.
Well, they used to be.
Yeah.
Well, I have them right here, actually, right in front of my face.
They just don't have. It's not. The totals are no now. Even with what is a live ball, what's considered a live ball now, and the prohibition on foreign stuff, then you're not gonna have totals of 6 too many times.
Did you know in July?
The caveat, of course, is the double headers we have nowadays, which are only 7 innings. There you go.
Yeah, that's true too.
So in one of a doubleheader games, July 7th of this season, DeGrom was on the hill at home. He was favored minus 170 against the Brewers' Corbin Burns.
That's a pretty good matchup.
That's a very good matchup.
The total was 4.5.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That what day was that?
Game, July 7th.
Really? 4.5?
Well, it was the first of 2 games because it only went 8 innings.
but still in July at Citi Field.
Yeah, it says 4.5.
That's a little. I couldn't play under that. Even with I couldn't play under that with Gibson and DeGrom.
But this is saying that if you think, like in any game, you think the Mets are going to score 3 or more runs in a home game that he's pitching, you should bet the over.
What was the final of that game?
4-3, and no team had a lead bigger than 1. Each team had a lead of 1, which is really hard to do in a 4-3 game. That's amazing.
Each team had a lead of 1?
Yep.
That's hard. Well, I would say it's hard to. Well, okay. All right, I'll buy it.
Well, 1-0. Then 1-1,
Right, 1-0,
2-1.
2-1, 3-2, 4-3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Nothing to -1.
no.
Okay, so how did we get on this topic? How did we get on the DeGrom thing? Because I have a suggestion and a question for you guys on DeGrom.
Go ahead.
The latest news on Lord DeGrom.
Yep.
Is that now September is the earliest he will return to the mound. And if he returns if buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a DeGrom Christmas. But if he returns in September and if he gets 5 starts, 6 starts in September, is it early September first start? Is that accurate? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's about a month's worth, right?
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And he has 15 starts now. That would give him approximately, let's call it 20 starts in the season, okay? 20 starts in a season. In a typical season, a pitcher that doesn't get injured or gets a full complement of starts, what are we going to call it, 35?
Yeah, that
definitely.
used to be the rule of thumb.
Yep.
You could even lower it to 30 now.
Right, 32,
Yeah.
30. It depends.
Right.
A lot of it depends on whether they've rested or whatever.
Yep.
Now, what's the lowest number of stars? This is a good, listen, this leads into a wager, into an investment that I would make today if you answered the questions correctly. Maybe even if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
What's the lowest number of starts that a Cy Young pitcher has had and won the Cy Young?
Wow, starts. I feel like that's a big deal. I'm
looking for the NRBQ system to just spit it right out.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
I'm going to guess. Listen, I'm going to guess that no
25
play.
even sounds low.
I don't think anyone's ever won it with 25. I don't think anyone's ever won it with 20 starts.
Well, I would agree with that.
Okay.
I would totally agree with that.
I may be wrong. We might be wrong because at least I can put myself. I'm not very smart.
I just feel like that's a big deal when
it
they
is a
vote
big
on
deal.
this.
Yep.
You know, the voters.
It
who
should
vote
be a
on
big
this
deal. Part of being Cy Young. Listen, if you win a Cy Young, you should be like Cy Young. Well, guess what? Cy Young, he could start 3 straight games in a row.
Right. At 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 7 o'clock.
Right. That's right. And he had bet on all the games, so we're not, and nobody even did a damn thing about it.
I can do. How about if we use innings pitched?
Well, that's fine.
We take out the 2020 season, obviously.
Yeah,
Throw it away. Throw it down the gutter.
So the most innings ever thrown was by that left-handed hurler from Philadelphia named Steve Carlton in 1972.
Listen, Steve was on drugs. That doesn't count. We want the least amount. Steve was. If you ever saw him, you ever see him not gnashing his teeth?
No.
Listen, he was hopped up all the time. So we want least amount.
Those were those jelly beans they had in those big containers in the locker room I heard about.
I want some. Give me some.
The green ones.
And he shouldn't have got the Cy Young because he didn't even average more strikeouts than innings pitched. 310. Kidding, of course. All right, so
then you're saying Maddox should never have won one. But go ahead. Let's get least amount of innings.
Okay. Well, now we have closers involved.
Well,
least amount of innings.
Okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about closers because none of them are going to ever win a Cy Young anyway. Except for
all right,
one.
so let's see. Most of these are. All right. Raleigh Fingers, 77 innings, 122 strikeouts, 8-1, won the Cy Young in 1981.
Let's go then next because we know we can exclude. Eckersley? Well, we can exclude closers. So.
Gagne, Bedrosian, Mark Davis, Bruce Sutter, Sparky Lyle.
Gagne. Okay, yeah, all closers. Get rid of them.
Willie Hernandez, closer.
Yep.
Rick Sutcliffe. Here we are. 1984.
There you go.
150 in a third innings. Was 16-1.
Okay. That speaks. I don't care if he only pitched. I don't care if he pitched. Let's do the math here. 90 innings, and he was 16-1. That can win a Cy Young. 90 innings could win a Cy Young. 16-1. And that probably was, guess what? That probably was only 25 starts. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. What year?
1984.
That was the year before that was the year. Wow, the Royals ended up beating the Phillies, didn't they?
Well,
no, that was the Cardinals.
That's the year the Tigers win the World Series.
That's correct. Yes, it
is.
Yeah.
But to that, what made me think of Sutcliffe real quick, I was starting to think that he got traded to the Cubs that year, but I'm thinking of the year Doyle Alexander got traded to the Tigers and won like 11 games down the stretch as soon as he got traded. I don't know if Sutcliffe got traded to the Cubs.
I don't think so. That's a good question, but he had 20 starts regardless.
But Doyle Alexander might have won the Cy Young that year, too. I think he went like 11-0 as soon as he got traded to the Tigers.
Let's see if I can find him. All right, so we have...
Remember that year, the Tigers went like 31-5 right out of the chute that year in 1984. They were virtually unbeaten.
Yeah.
That's listen, at Carlton that year?
Yep.
They came in last.
Well, he had 33 starts, dude.
Isn't that, was he 27-9? Is that the year they came
in
last?
Oh, no, that was, I thought, who was it in 1984? You told me to look up 84 stats?
84, it was Sutcliffe.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I looked up Carlton. Carlton had 33. He was 13-7 that year, by the way. But he had a lot of starts. Oh, so Sutcliffe. I'm sorry. I was
wait. 72, I have Carlton as 1.97 ERA, 27-10 record.
Yeah. And the team came in last.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
That's another one. Like we're saying, DeGrom only winning 9 games and winning a Cy Young. That guy's team came in last and he won a Cy Young. That's how good he was.
So going down the list here of most innings pitched, Carlton obviously first, Gaylord Perry, Denny McClain, Sandy Koufax, Fergie Jenkins, Denny McClain again, Jim Palmer, Sandy Koufax, Catfish Hunter, Randy Jones, and these are all in the 70s. Jim Palmer, Don Drysdale, Vida Blue, Sandy Koufax, 1968. Bob Gibson.
Sutcliffe was a member of the Cubs that year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just saying I didn't know if he got traded. He got traded at some point in his career.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, John.
So then we come back down to Sutcliffe here, who has the fewest. And then the next fewest is David Cohn, 1994. And then Blake Snell, 2018, with 180 innings. Fernando Valenzuela, 1981, 192. Clayton Kershaw, 198 innings in 2014. Max Scherzer, 200 innings in 2017. Greg Maddux, 1994, 202. Jacob deGrom, 2019, 204. Want me to keep going?
No, I don't care.
No, you're good.
Okay, Sutcliffe. How about I need somebody to back me up with 20 starts? How many innings of pitch did he pitch, John, did you say?
I think you said 150.
150?
Yep, 150 and a third.
ERA of 2.69?
No, wait, let me get it again. Where the hell is he? 2.69 is correct, yep. 150 and a third.
At a 26% K rate, at 6.5% ball rate, 4.9 WAR. And he won. Listen, he should never have won the Cy that year. Why didn't Gooden win the Cy that year?
Well, I think Gooden came in. I have the voting here.
Yeah, he came in. But
yeah, it wasn't even close though.
Well, yeah. But he had 218 innings pitched, 2.6 ERA, a 32% K rate, 8% ball rate with an 8.3 F WAR, 31 starts and didn't win the Cy over Sutcliffe. That sounds like a race issue to me.
That's because those writers put so much stock into being on the winning team. And you know what? The Cubs went on and got beat by the Padres in the championship series that year. They didn't even make the World Series. The Padres played the Tigers in the World Series that year.
Hey, Rich Gossage didn't even get a vote, and he was one of those Padre guys.
Yeah, well, he was. He's not a starter.
Oh, well, that's right. We're talking about that. But he's in the voting. He just didn't get a vote.
Doesn't matter. He's not starting.
All right, so to your point, you want to make your case for Walker Buehler for Cy Young.
That's correct. That is what is the odds today on we're making first off we're just projecting that DeGrom is going to come back in September, pitch those starts, and be exactly who he was before he left. That alone, even if you tell me he's an alien and he has a magic wand, is not easy to do. Not to the degree of what he was, which is essentially striking out two batters an inning almost, you know?
Well, do you remember when we had this conversation? Right? It was like...
Nope. I don't remember.
It was actually dumb luck, but it seemed prophetic. I think it was a Friday. We were talking about, what if DeGrom goes down? DeGrom goes down that weekend.
Yes, I do remember that. I was saying then, we need to play and Buehler was plus 300 then.
Oh, he's more than that. He was more than that. He's plus 350 now.
Right now, plus 350 today.
Wait, let me see your.
If he is, then
this has to be the Cy Young.
I think when we had that talk, Tony was building a case for playing the Phillies to take the Mets.
Yes, I think you're right. Mets. Yeah, I was making that case. That's correct.
They were like plus 700 at that point, right?
That's right.
And I think you and I, Rob, were Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler was like 16-1.
Yeah, if they could only win, he could win it. I mean, they're a sub-500 team right now, but if they could
guess who the favorite is?
Listen, realistically,
is it DeGrom?
No, it's Wheeler.
If DeGrom doesn't win the Cy Young, if he doesn't come back right now, let's make another assessment. Let's make another projection.
Okay.
Even DeGrom comes back and he has 20 starts and his last month, September, is not that fantastic. Guess what's the last thing that writers remember? They're going to remember September. They're going to remember he was injured for 2 months, that he only had 20 starts. Hold on. I can't vote for DeGrom. Who's going to be the winner? Who is the Cy Young winner? I say
Zach Wheeler.
How are you going to give it to Zach Wheeler?
Because I bet him on pizza money at 16-1.
Well, okay. Let's say you didn't make that bet. How are you going to bet for him? How are you going to bet on him?
I think he's pitching better than Walker Buehler, and he's on a team now that has an offense on the rise. And they're going to be chasing down the Mets, and every game is going to be important. And
listen again. I'm trying to make this today. We can't. If we want to project that, I'll project that the Dodgers will win every single game remaining. That Buehler will be perfect. He won't give up an earned run the whole month of September. We can do that all day. I'm saying today.
I will give you the top 10 right now for the Cy Young.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let me ask you this, Tone.
Real
quick. Let me ask you this, because you just said writers will remember DeGrom missed
2
months. Even if he comes back, they're not going to vote. If DeGrom comes back, I'm just going to throw a day. He comes back September 4th. The Phillies and the Mets are in a dead heat for first place, and DeGrom pitches the Mets to the division title. They'll remember that. About those 2 months.
Then they'll remember that. Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that for him to come back and to be who he was before is, I think it's asking an awful lot.
Yeah, who's real sure of what this injury even is right now? Right. It's so mysterious. I don't know if they're just like the Dodgers seemed like they were just resting Kershaw for the last 3 weeks. I can't even believe there's anything wrong with the guy.
You know what, DeGrom, when he did his last bullpen session, when they stopped him and said, "Listen, we're going to rest." Do you know what he was throwing during his bullpen session?
Who, DeGrom?
98, 99 miles an hour.
Yeah. When was this? Wait, DeGrom was
last week.
Right? Right before they put him on the
I don't think he's strong. I don't know for a fact. I shouldn't say that.
I know.
My understanding was, but wasn't he just on flat ground last week? Because that's when I said on the show
flat ground.
It was going to be
flat ground, basically a side session, throwing 98 and 99 miles an hour.
So not off the mound.
Flat, just a side session.
Right. Okay.
Off the mound, that equates to 107 off the mound.
That's what that's what I'm saying.
Faster.
Right. I mean, it is that made me say, that backed me up immediately and said, that's when I started this whole Buehler thing. If there's a guy out there with numbers, with good odds, a good RI, and I know he's the workhorse. He's the guy that every single time he goes to the mound, you get the same effing thing. Every time.
So I guess to play Buehler, we have to figure that the 3 Milwaukee guys would split votes. Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, Freddie Peralta, who are all in the mix, they probably just split votes. And none of them can win because they're going to split.
Yeah, Gosman has backed up seriously after this All-Star break.
Yeah, 3 starts in a row worth, yes.
Right.
Yep.
Well,
and Woodruff was really good, but he lost to Lance Lynn, which in my book automatically eliminates you from the Cy Young.
You do carry grudges against guys. Adam Wainwright, no way, no circumstance, never.
Nope, never.
I'm taking a screenshot here.
Never am I betting Waka at minus 220. If I do that, I want you to commit me immediately.
John, can this number be right? I'm staring right now at Baseball Reference telling me that Freddie Peralta, per 9 innings pitched this year,
it's true.
is allowing less than 4 hits per 9 innings, 3.91 hits.
But he's walking 12. That's the problem.
No, because it says walks and hits.
But he's unhittable.
Oh, my God. Corbin Burns strikeouts almost 13 per 9.
Yeah.
Freddie Peralta, has the best earned run average, 217.
Yes.
Wheeler has the most innings pitched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wheeler has the highest WAR. I don't know if that comes into play. WAR.
Well,
Wheeler has the most
It's
strikeouts.
nice. Yeah. The WAR. Look at Gooden had 8.3 FWAR.
Yeah.
The year he didn't win the Cy, 8.3. Are you kidding me?
Was
And
that
he
the year
did all
was-
that.
was
He
like-
did all that. He did all that smoking crack between innings.
Was that the 24-4 year? Is
you know
Dwight
what?
Gooden 24-4 that year?
Let's look at it. I'll tell you.
I mean, he was unhittable. He was unhittable from the day he came up.
31 starts, 218 innings, 250 ERA, 32% of the batters. He blew them away. Wow. That's Gibson stuff, guys.
No one-loss record on him that year?
Well, it's just I'm going to get it for you right now. I'm pulling it up because this I happened to click over to an article and I couldn't get my eyes off of it. We got this guy's spot on. What he's saying is this. He said basically, and I'll filter this. How the F did Gooden not win the Cy Young? And how did Sutcliffe win unanimously?
Because he was 16-1 and Gooden was 20 or 19-7, I think. I don't even think Gooden had 20 wins, did he?
I don't know. I
Tony's
haven't
trying
looked it
to
up.
get there.
Yeah, I can get there, but
1984, Dwight Gooden. But I would say this: the only way that can happen, the Cubs must have had the best record in the National League. That's the only thing I can think of.
All right, to support you, Tony Finn, I did a summary of quality starts for the season and average hits because you wanted to see if that guy, I forget who you said he was, but
who?
So the leader that was averaging like 4.2.
It's Peralta.
Okay, so I want to add walks in here too, because you said that he walks like 12.
Well, I just put it in there.
That's not true. I'm betting against that.
It's not true. No, I don't want.
All right, so here we go. 18 quality starts by Walker Buehler. Kyle Hendricks of the Cubs has 16.
Yes.
Brandon Woodruff, 15. Sandy Alcantara, 15. Chris Bassett, 14. Gossman, 14. Zach Wheeler, 14.
Who has more than Buehler?
Nobody.
And is that impressive? Listen, quality starts, what we define as quality starts, or how we define a quality start is, I think quality starts make you, if you have a quality start, you're a pedestrian pitcher. That's 6 innings, 3 earned runs. So what?
Just trying to filter out the.
Oh, okay, all right. No, I had to throw it in because I have a beef against that too. All right.
So the,
it equates to an ERA like over 4.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gooden was 17.
Actually.
Gooden was 17-9.
I was off by 2.
But here's the deal. He was DeGrom. He got no run. And same damn team too. They hate their pitchers. They hate their good pitchers.
It had to be 1985 then when he was 24-4. That 1 year he put together was insane.
I'm looking at the final. Yeah, I'm looking at these box scores, and I don't know how the hell he lost. I don't know how he lost ever. I know how he lost. 0 runs by the Mets. 0 runs by the Mets. Oh, as the Expos won 2-0, 1-0. That'll get you off the Cy Young, losing to the Expos more than once a year.
Because you know why? Because Keith Hernandez and Darryl Strawberry were both on crack, too, at the same time.
That's true.
No wonder they're not getting any runs.
I'm telling you. Damn, those were good days. Those were good days.
Those were the good days. That whole Mets team, oh, my God.
Well, that whole time period, that's the Willie Wilson, Vida Blue, when they were Darryl Porter with the Royals. All of those guys, man, they got arrested. You don't just arrest baseball players of that stat publicly. In early 1980s, when they weren't even, you could go down to the bar and lay your drugs out on the table and have a party. They wouldn't even bother you. Then they didn't give a s, And to be arrested means that you were doing it naked. You were being way too blatant. Something's wrong.
Rob, I just came up with something good for Tony's first 5.
All right, I'm
nice.
listening.
Let's see.
I still want you to. What's the odds on? Well, can you give me somebody who you would vote for ahead of Buehler if we had no DeGrom?
So his last 14 starts, Walker Buehler's last 14 starts, 13 quality starts in 14, and only one of those. Only one of those quality was a 6-3 deal.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's 2 runs, 7 innings. 1 run, 7 innings. 1 run.
He's done this. He has done this despite Dave Roberts.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Well, see, Dave Roberts leaves him in the game.
Well,
he doesn't know any better.
Well, that's good because or he would. How many wins? What's his record right now, Buehler's?
He is is that
10-1 or something? Probably.
The team is 14-7. He is.
Yeah, because of Jansen.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Now
he's
you guys
11-1, Tone. He's 11.
11-1. So,
but the team has 7 losses.
If he's 16-1, if he finishes 16-1, and
he wins it.
Okay. Even if DeGrom comes back, he wins it.
Yep. I give you that.
So what can we get on DeGrom right now? I mean, what can we get on
well, right here it is.
Buehler right now?
John just had plus 350, right?
Yeah.
It's 350?
There's your leaders.
Yeah. I don't have you guys up.
Look where DeGrom is, 10-1.
What?
DeGrom is 10-1 right there on the board.
Yep.
Oh, that's the latest?
Yep.
That's the latest?
That was
they
5
finally
seconds ago.
Listen, 2 days ago, they still had DeGrom at minus 130.
Yeah, no more.
Well, that's because he's now
perfect. You see, I've been trying to we're too late to the party, dudes.
Well,
I kind of like plus 350.
Well, I don't care. I'm just mad because I wanted to do it when DeGrom was minus 130. That alone, and take a picture of it and hang a never cash ticket. Just put it right next to that picture, and say, "Listen, this is how smart I am." I have none of those pictures on the wall.
See, you just made my world. You made my world really good, Tony Finn, because I have Wheeler at 16-1, and what stops me now from taking the 2 top guys? I can add Wheeler.
What do you have at 16-1?
A Wheeler.
Oh well, if you don't listen, it's tough to leverage a Cy Young. It's different than a parlay, and you're gonna, basically. But
if I'm taking both guys,
yeah,
I don't think anybody else has a chance. It's either gonna be him or Walker Buehler, and that's it. So I'll take Walker Buehler after the show for pizza money.
For pizza money right now, I'd take DeGrom at 10-1 too, just in case he comes back in 2 weeks and his lights still lights out.
Yeah, and I'll tell you who's got a shot if, in fact, all goes well. Is Max Scherzer on there was 8-1, and he could
Has a pitcher ever won a Cy Young being sold at the trade deadline? I know I can confidently say I don't think so.
I think Doyle Alexander might have. You got to go
Yeah.
back
You
and
mean-
look at the
you mean
AL.
in
look at the
1840?
American League Cy Young.
You mean in 1840? That Doyle?
Let's see.
Go try and
Did
find.
they have a Cy Young in 1840?
No. They did have a Cy Young, though, I think. I think he was born.
I think
No,
the
he was- he
Braves
pitched in-
traded him, and he went like 11-0 for the Tigers down the stretch.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying is that seems like another hurdle for that pitcher to. Not only does he have to be one of the best, you have to beat these guys. Say, he switched teams, switched leagues. He didn't switch leagues, but you know what I mean. So
The good news for Scherzer is you're dropping him into Dodger Stadium. You're
Mm-hmm.
dropping him into Petco Park. You're dropping him into San Francisco. All these places, aside from Colorado, is not a great place to have to pitch, but it's a shitty lineup.
But he's got what has he got left? He's got 10 starts left. 12 maybe.
This month and next month, so I don't know. Yeah,
Maybe
12 tops. 12. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
If he runs off a 10-2 or something and winds up 18-6
Possible. It's possible. But
with that lineup,
I'm telling you, 16-1.
yeah,
with
no,
what-
Bueller's got a head start on him, Tone.
Yeah.
John was saying who else could possibly win it.
That's
I would
true.
think that at
Yeah.
8-1, maybe he could. But, yeah, Walker Buehler. I mean, there's no signs of him slowing down either, and the lineup just got better for him.
Yeah, and his schedule a little. Actually, in truth, I'm going to pull it up. But I looked at his projected opponents, guys. When I was
Oh, he muted himself on us.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't.
He doesn't want us to hear him.
I did that on purpose because it was the words I was using were inappropriate for FFA television. I know. I've been trying to make this argument for 2 weeks, and the thing is, I played one little lousy ticket on it, and so I got no leg to stand on, truthfully. But the projected, I went as far as to kind of project his games, the rest of the season, and they're nothing like the games, especially now that this team. It's not like the Dodgers had a 10-game lead in the division where things become. Guess what? You get pulled earlier. You don't. You do this. They maybe give you a day a rest in September. No, Dodgers got to play. Guess what? They're 3 games out of first place.
And here, to your argument, if you were just comparing Buehler and DeGrom at the time, the remaining strength of schedule as of this morning, the Dodgers play a sub-500 schedule the rest of the way out. 55 games left against teams that are winning at 49.7%. The Mets play 58 games against a winning schedule, 51%.
Yeah.
Winning percentage for the teams that they have left to play.
And the Phillies have the easiest.
The Phillies still have the easiest, and they still can't get over 500.
Oh, give them time.
They're unbelievably frustrating. Unbelievably
They
frustrating.
are.
15 runs.
I said it this morning on first pitch. I mean, here's the deal. 1 minute I'll say this team I believe in them. They still can do this, and then they'll go out and they can't score against a AAA pitcher. And then they come back the next day and you say this team stinks. They win 10-1 or something. And they are the poster child for schizophrenia. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know it's not politically correct either.
And you wonder why the Philly fan base is the way they are.
Well, listen, John, meeting you, I knew immediately. You didn't have to tell me that you were a Philly fan. I knew it.
But I'm really
Just
not.
kidding. I'm just joking. It's a joke.
Rob and I just happen to be located here.
No, really, you told me you're a NIT grad or what something like that.
I'm a defender of underperforming free throw shooters.
Oh yeah, well that's a just cause.
It is. I'm going to go to.
Too bad you can't help them.
I went on GoFundMe. I have 15 cents now. It's very encouraging. I thank everybody for that.
I have a magic pill.
Emotional. But
the free throw shooting pill.
The old legal tampering period may see him move later on tonight.
Yeah. All right, Tony Finn. We're going to do just one of these guys or maybe two of these guys, and then we'll do a quick round of best bets, and we'll...
I have a column that was due like 10 days ago.
Well, then we'll bag the best bets
No,
segment.
no, but I just want you to know that when they called me and said, why haven't you turned this in yet? And I said, well, I'm not going to answer. I'm going to plead the fifth, but I'm going to tell you this, though. It's John Vegas, a Machine Gun Kelly's fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they said, who? How can it be his fault? He's in federal prison. I said, really? I didn't know that he was doing a show in federal prison.
They have some pretty good bars, as you can tell behind me here.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm not in an extradition type country either.
It wouldn't be strangely unusual me having a friend who's in federal prison. So I don't know. We can buy it, John.
All right. Well, here we go.
All right.
Season is 2021.
Yeah.
Away favorites are tied after the fifth inning are 108-29 for 79%.
What is this? What is this about now? What are you doing to me?
This is for your article.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Really? You don't even know what my article's about.
The first five.
Oh, that far. Okay, come on.
Yeah, as opposed to Fab Five.
Oh, or the five.
So our away favorite of minus 150 or greater is tied or leading after the fifth inning. In the 2021 season, they end up 108-29 for 79%, a plus 24.3% ROI, making about $6,000 for the $100 bettor.
This is the team that. What was the initial criteria?
Leading or tied after the fifth.
Okay.
Road favorite of minus 150 or greater.
Okay, good. Now, I really listen.
But what's wrong with that?
Good info. That's good info. But here's the deal.
Good.
I don't care. I don't personally care. What I want to know is how many of the favorites that led after 5 innings won the game. Favorites. Actually, I don't. Was that minus 150?
Yeah.
But I would like to know that. That's a pretty good. Actually, it's pretty good. From minus 110 to minus 150.
Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Because we gave out a free bet on the Phillies already because it was plus 125 to minus 125 range.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So minus 110. No, I have that in there wrong.
All right.
So now here's where the flaw was in that first. Not that it wasn't meaningful.
Yeah.
What we want to know is the bullpen screwing up, right? So we have favorites of 110 to 150 on the road, leading or tied.
Stop. Why does it have to be on the road?
Favorable line movement. The favorites at home are going to be 175.
Okay, I'll listen to this, but then I want you.
I can change it.
I'll listen to this, but here's what I want. I can give a crap about who Joe Public's bet. I want to know favorites. Listen, there's been so many. Last year we had so many people, listen, and it's true. Last year we had a large number of bullpens catch on fire while they're on the mound. And I don't mean hot fire. I mean they were on fire because they were burning, but that horrible, that kind of fire. Not fat, PHAT, FAT. You following me?
Yeah, like the Philly Fanatic. It's spelled the same way.
Okay. I'm glad to know that you're on one page there because I'm starting to ramble.
So here we go.
And Rob's watching the game up there. I don't know what he's watching.
Yeah.
But I can see him looking up.
Bo Bichette just hit into an inning-ending double play, so 2-2 after 6.
I would have, I would have liked the under in that game, but I didn't do it. So let's go.
I'm betting on Olympic in-game diving.
Dieting?
Diving.
Oh,
yeah,
diving.
we go in head first type of stuff.
It's like the opposite of when is the hot dog eating contest?
Did you see the girl who went in feet first last night? She got a 0.
Yep.
A diver?
Yeah, she went in feet first.
Was she the Canadian?
I don't know what she was.
That
dive didn't score very high.
They had a Quaalude epidemic.
Unfortunately, when you go in feet first, they don't release the address of the athlete.
Yeah, no, it's a non-dive. It's a non-dive.
Yeah, that is right. So anyway, first 5 leading or tied, but if they're leading, it's only by 1. Away favorite, minus 110 to minus 150, seasons 2021. Bullpens aren't as bad as we might have thought. 108 and 29, 79%. Let me make sure I ran this thing right. Okay. Well, it's still positive. 62 and 37, minus 129 pre-flop line. 14% ROI. $100 bettors made $1,600 on those 99 games. So, team, there's been 99 games where the away favorite of minus 110 and minus 150 in the 2021 season that's leading by 1 or tied after 5. So the bullpens are blowing it 37 out of 99 times. So basically 37%, they are blowing a lead or tied situation.
Okay.
And the run line is bad. It's 44 and 55. But the under is 67 and 31. So there's your in-game bet.
Yeah, I need to do the run. I have some articles. I do have some articles, and I don't none of those stuff. None of the side. None of this. This is the 5-ring. I understand it's a 5-ring circus, but I need the main ring. The big tent, and that is how many. This article. I start closing it out is bullpens. This year's bullpens compared to last year's bullpens, and how many. Whether it's favorable to be playing first fives as opposed to games. See?
Right.
All right. Well, here we go.
It doesn't have anything to do with – I'm not saying this is not important, but it has nothing to do with totals. It has nothing to do with favorites. It has nothing to do with in-game live. This article, if I start going that way, they're going to say, Tony, you need to get back on your medication and stay focused on what the article is supposed to be about.
I'll take that as a compliment. So what do you want me to do here?
No, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it on the show. But I just want to know.
No, I can. I'm very adept.
If a team is leading, if I like a team to win a game, is there any reason to play them? Is it more favorable, regardless of their odds? Is it more favorable to play them first 5 or game? And I guess the question would be, here's the criteria: if a team leads after 5, how many times are they winning? And I shouldn't say it's hard to. It's really hard to give me numbers on who I like because we can't go through every game. But so I have to have some criteria. The criteria being they're a favorite, maybe less than plus 125, which in my book is a pick 'em. Anyway, so
all right. So margin after 5, they're winning the game.
True. Yes.
Okay. By any amount.
That will help. That's a great start. That's when we did. I remember you did this number for me about a month ago.
Yes.
And it was right.
So not much difference between 2020 and 2021. There's been
Not much.
1,331 games so far in the 2021 season. Wait, I got it. Wait.
Okay.
I have to. That's twice as many as that's counting both teams. All right, so. Yeah, here. I was 1,331 games, 1,109 wins, 222 losses, 83%. And that's the 2021 season. In 2020, it was 670 to 142, much shorter season. Let's do 2019.
Well, I just want to know last year or this year.
Well, remember last year was the
COVID.
shortened season.
I know it was a
okay.
6-game sprint, but I'll use percentages. You know what I mean? So
2020. I'll go from top to bottom. 2021, 83.3% winners when the team was leading after 5.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
82.5% in 2020.
Okay.
84.1% in 2019.
Okay.
82.7% in 2018.
Okay.
82.9%
Okay,
in 2017.
Stop.
So they're all
Now, my
basically-
next question to you is this. So, was it just an exaggerated feel last year that seemed like bullpens blew? I mean, here's the deal. From what you're telling me right now, I guess if they're a favorite of -1, those percentages, guys, as long as they're a favorite of -140 or less, then if a team's leading after 5, that's your in-game live play.
Okay, so you want a dog?
Yeah, because they're going to win the game 85%
That's right.
of the time.
Right. And as long as they're not up, and even then, as long as they're not up by 4 runs. The problem with in-game live is this: if they're up by 3 runs, 4 runs, then you're not going to get them at -140.
Right.
That's the problem.
You're gonna lay 4.5 runs.
That's exactly right. You're going to, yeah. And then that's a whole nother NRBQ query.
Right.
It's going to take John Vegas, Machine Gun Kelly, a million years to get to the main, because he's going to start telling me the over-unders and how many games DeGrom lost during this period, and we're going to have to get him back on his meds.
Well, dogs that are leading after 5.
I know. See, you're making my case, John. You're making my case.
So dogs have worse bullpens than favorites.
Well, that makes sense.
Yep.
It should. Yeah, it should.
Right.
Especially at that price range, it should make sense. The lesser team would have the lesser bullpen.
Yep.
Yeah. And they have less wins, usually. Unless your name's Philly and you're a Philly fanatic.
Well, you guys want to do a quick round of...
I'm up. I'm in.
All right.
And then I have to get to work. This is way too much fun.
Yep, and this is Monday, so
it's not classified as work. I can't.
I have dinner at 6 o'clock.
I had a couple people ask me, do you consider that work, Tony? And I said, have you had to do a show with Rob and Machine Gun John Kelly for an hour? It's work. It's a lot of work, you guys.
I mean, it's hard to stay on the rails. Yes.
They have a sense of humor, though. I tell them all. They get a good sense of humor. Okay. Get on it, John. What's the game? I'm listening.
I'm going to give my Olympic one out last, but so far today we did, based on the first 5 that Rob and I did before you came on, the Phillies are in play.
All right.
And then I also have the Marlins, and that's the MLB angle of the day. So Marlins, and I don't care who's pitching. I don't. Doesn't matter.
Isn't Philadelphia starting their closer?
They are.
Well, that makes perfect sense to bet on first 5 then, because sure as hell don't want them in the second 5. 4.
Just so
I got Ian Kennedy.
See, you're going to set him off on another tangent.
Yep. Got Ian Kennedy
how do you make a 80% fly ball pitcher that has 95% exit velocity on average your closer? How? Here's ballpark.
The other choices are worse.
Well, at least his name is Ranger. It sounds impressive.
That is a pretty good name, by the way. I could tell you a story about the ultimatum I gave my wife. Speed Racer or Johnny Quest. Those were the 2 names that she had to choose from for my son.
Wow.
And she looked at me and said the same thing I've said to you today, John. Tony, get on your effing medicine. Get on your medication again. Those no. And then I have daughters, Ivy League. I said, honey, you got to name this one Ivy League. So that way, if she has any of my DNA, she'll never get an Ivy League school unless her name is Ivy League.
Well, with Johnny Quest and Speed
You know
Racer,
what she said to me? You know what she said to me? She said, don't worry. It's the postman's. It's not yours.
Well, it's better than saying Johnny Detroit. I mean, Johnny Quest, Johnny Detroit.
No,
that would have been a slip.
We can't talk bad about Johnny Detroit.
Well, I mean, it sounds like Johnny Quest.
Not on the air. Only in front of him. Only when he's there can we talk bad about him.
Oh,
Johnny Unitas.
Johnny Unitas.
No, that's not funny.
No, that would be a good name, Johnny Unitas.
Yeah.
I have. Listen, do you want to hear do you want to know what my daughter's names are? Let me tell you what my daughter's names are. Brooklyn Sky. That's her name. Brooklyn Sky. What is she named after?
Named after the Dodgers.
Yes. And Chicago WNBA team.
Skydome.
Oh.
Oh, all right.
Nice.
How about this one? Bridget Shea.
Well, obviously.
Well, Shea Stadium.
That's correct.
But
Bridget's the mystery.
Bridget Nielsen.
Nope, not even close. Better than Bridget Nielsen.
Bridget
Bordeaux.
Not quite that good. Bridget Fonda.
Oh.
Yeah. No breasts.
Nice.
I had a good buddy of mine who did the same thing. His daughter is named Brett Ryan, after George Brett and Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
Son is named Mickey. What the hell's the kid's middle name? But it was Mickey Mantle and some other combination. All baseball names.
Yeah, well, this one here's one. I mixture. Brody Camden is my youngest son.
Well, it ain't Camden, New Jersey, the carjack capital of the world.
Camden Yards.
Go Camden Yards, okay.
Yes, it is.
Much better.
Brody?
Much better.
Who's Brody?
John Brody.
That's correct.
I'm pretty
That's
good
correct.
at this
So
game.
these are all. She didn't take Johnny Quest or Speed Racer. Listen, I wanted Speed Racer bad, guys. Bad. I wanted that name.
That car was pretty good too.
Yeah, it would. She
and
said,
Trixie.
Why don't we name him after? Why don't we name? Why don't we name him?
Trixie and Spritle.
Speed Racer's sidekick. I said, Bandit.
No, that's Johnny
not
Quest's
Bandit.
sidekick. That's the dog in Johnny Quest, isn't it,
Yeah,
Bandit?
Bandit.
Yeah. I remember that cartoon.
Who was Johnny's sidekick though?
It was Haji.
Haji, right. That's what she meant. So why don't we just name him Haji then, Tony? I said, no. Speed Haji. You can't be a football player named Haji, but Speed Racer, you can be.
Let it be known in the chat room that this is full 100% proof that I am much younger than the other two gentlemen on my show.
That's true. It's probably true. If you don't remember Speed Racer, and I'm certain, I bet
do.
there's very few people, unless they have the Cartoon Network in the chat room, that remember Speed Racer.
What was the rival for Speed Racer? It was something like the Dark Knight or whatever his name was. What was his name?
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
I know one thing. They wouldn't be allowed to show Johnny Quest on TV anymore. That would not make it. That would be canceled. Culture canceled. Cancel culture, whatever we call it nowadays. That ain't happening. Johnny Quest was a great cartoon, though.
Oh, come on. Yeah, Johnny. And listen, Speed Racer? Yeah.
Hey, I'm not going to say it. No, I will. Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, and 3 really can't be aired anymore.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Especially 1.
You guys, see, I don't notice any of those things because I'm colorblind. And I mean, I am colorblind. Not just psychologically or in politically correct fashion. I'm colorblind.
Is that because you have white and black hair?
Well, not completely colorblind.
Oh God!
It's dark colors. Dark colors like black, blue. I can't tell the difference.
So, Nevada State Police wear dark uniforms. Is that what you're trying to say, or Nevada State Police wear dark uniforms and dark hats?
They're all the bad guys. Unless you got a white hat on, you're a bad guy.
I was going to bet you, though. I bet Tony Finn knows a lot of Rangers, and he just happens to know another one named Ranger Suarez. But I know he probably knows a lot of other Rangers.
In fact, I don't even know Ranger Suarez. Never. I don't even know anybody named Ranger. I don't.
The Phillies are going to win.
But Phillies are starting their closer. I mean, they need some help. This team really needs some front office. They need some help. They really do.
Wouldn't you like to just spend an hour in Joe Girardi's house after a game and see what he really says about this team? He'd be like,
or whatever bar he's in.
Oh, my God, his poor wife must hear about it every single night with this team, how he's got to put up with this. Sometimes I look at him in the dugout, and I swear to God, he looks like he just wants to run the hell away.
Yep. Like, which way is New York again?
And I like Joe Girardi. I really do like Joe Girardi.
Not his fault, that's for sure.
No.
Well, it is Dave Roberts' fault.
Oh, yeah. And maybe, John, it wasn't Gabe Kapler's fault, after all, even though he did signal for a lefty when there was none warming up in the bullpen.
Yeah. Well, at least he knows the rules, explaining rules.
I heard that could be a function of deodorant. So he went like this because he had too much on this side and it wouldn't come up.
Gabe now happens to have the best record in the major leagues. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do. Listen, when you have the best record in the major leagues and you got like trophies on your mantle and you got, you have a posse that all have vaginas, you're the man. You know,
I can name one too, and the guy who said this, I didn't realize he was a baseball player.
That posse does love him.
But anyway,
yeah.
you know, my oldest boy and I used to say, like, if you want to get in the Hall of Fame, you play for Philly for a couple of years, then you go somewhere else. Look at Terry Francona. The media guy that, I'm not going to mention his name, but he's about 5'6".
What's his initials?
I played golf with him at a charity event, and he left because the greens were not suitable, and this was one of the nicest country clubs in the Philadelphia region. So he said that Francona, when he went to Boston, wasn't going to do a thing. He would be fired within a year.
Yeah.
You know, nasty crap. And look what he did. He stopped the curse.
Yeah. Look what he's about to become the all-time winningest manager for the Cleveland Indians. And
God.
how long has he been with Cleveland?
Yeah,
8 years?
I don't know exactly how bad it is, but you do feel bad for him. Now he's not going to manage the rest of the year because of his health. I mean, he's been out the last couple of days. He's not managing today. I think I heard today he's done for the season. So
But
hopefully, he's been fighting that cancer for a while.
Anybody who says Francona is not a quality or not a savvy baseball man doesn't know baseball.
Right. No, he's good.
Agreed.
Definitely.
And I'll pass that on to the Philadelphia media person. All right, so free
Have him call me.
picks. I gave
Call me,
mine.
I'll talk to him.
And Tony Finn, you've already exceeded your 90 seconds for the free pick. So
Okay, good.
God, I felt like somebody we all know there for a second. I actually bossed you around just now.
Listen, don't
Didn't
tell
feel
anybody.
all that good though. Didn't feel all
Don't
that
tell
good.
anybody. But I get bossed around by a couple people all day, all night, all day, all night. I let them think. No, they boss me around.
Do you have a free pick you want to give out quick?
Am I allowed to?
Yes,
I use my 90 seconds.
Yeah, you
Mike.
do it because I don't. So you do it, Tony.
My dinner reservation is in 48 seconds.
Okay, here's in 48 seconds. Okay, let me give you a rundown. How about this? What really quickly? What is Jerry Meals' nickname among Major League Baseball players?
Measles?
Bread box. And why do they call him bread box?
Because he's a
That
little
would
overweight.
indicate a tight strike zone.
That's the size of his strike zone.
Mm-hmm.
How big's a bread box?
Pretty small.
I have heard that saying before.
Okay. Now, who are the two pitchers tonight in Tampa Bay?
That's Chris Flexen and your boy Michael Wacha.
And what is Flexen's dichotomy? What's his splits home road?
Terrible at home. I mean, terrible on the road. Excellent at home.
Yeah.
Unders 2 home, 6 on the road.
Right. And he's pitching at home.
And he's pitching on the road. Michael Wacha. Can anyone make a case for Michael Wacha except for the years that he was on? It had some really good medication 3 years ago when he pitched for St. Louis.
No.
He's not relevant, is he? He's not relevant.
No.
He's not baseball relevant, fantasy. He's not relevant. Okay, so if you put Wacha against the current Seattle lineup, what is their batting average against Wacha? 500. 500.
I was close.
500. And then if you take Flexen, what's the batting average of the Tampa players against Flexen? What's their batting average?
510.
833. Over 9 in Tampa Bay. And it is.
That's probably the OPS, but we'll take it.
No. That's the batting average.
Can I get a...
the on-base percentage is bad.
How about over 9 first 5 innings? Will they give me a line on that?
Give me. If I'll take plus 400, I would take that.
How about both teams score 9 runs?
Exactly 9?
Yeah, well, 9
They
or
have
more.
that. You can get that number. You can get that almost anywhere.
Both teams, that would be a hell of a return. That would have to be.
I'm just saying to you,
30 to 1.
I'm giving you the reasons why I would play the over. Once I found out who the I did play the over. Once I found out Meals was behind the plate, done deal. This is a pitcher's park, by the way, guys. Other than it gives up some long balls, Trop is basically a pitcher's park, but it can give up some long balls. And you know what? We both know Tampa's improved their offense since the
There's no
deadline.
question. There's no question.
Right.
I was going to say it myself. That's a different offense right now.
Yeah. So it was 8.5. Listen, opened 8.5, was a heavy 8.5. Now it's a heavy 9 under, but I couldn't find an 8.5 anywhere. So I played it. I played it anyway.
Odds are one of those teams is going to probably score 9 on their own merit.
Let's grow it. Let's do it.
Yep, I like that one a lot. Mr. Veno, you are next in line here. Where are you taking us?
Can't I just piggyback Tony? I mean,
that's right. Yeah, you said you. Yeah.
I made one play today, guys. That was it. A short card. I do like Slovenia and Germany over the total later on tonight, 9:00 p.m. Olympic basketball.
Are they still alive? Is the United States still alive in basketball or soccer?
They play at about 12:40 this morning. They actually found a way to advance. I think they play Spain, the Gasol brothers.
Semifinals.
Nice.
Nice. Rudy Fernandez in Spain against the U.S. But some good basketball left here. Luka and the Slovenians are making a charge here for sure.
Who knows who here? Before we go, I know you got someplace to go, but do you know anything about? I know a little bit. I don't know, but I've been investigating such, and I want you to. There's a kid that's starting for, or kid, not a kid, but he's a kid in my world, starting for Arizona tonight against AD.
Yep, Taylor Widener, right?
That's correct. Who knows something about Taylor Widener?
I don't.
I know a little about him.
There you go.
I watch most of his starts because my kid is a big fan of the Diamondbacks, so I have to watch with him all the time. Yeah.
Listen, 2 years ago, my question to you, the one thing I didn't investigate today, I should have, is I want to know what his spin rate is from. Oh. I want to know what his spin rate has happened to his spin rate because, listen, 2 years ago, he had a dynamic 97, 98 mile an hour fastball with movement. His four-seamer was moving more than some really good pitchers. And the Diamondbacks, and then we had the COVID thing, and then he had an injury. Listen, his last 2 starts come off of an injury. If you look at sometimes, this guy I think he has 3 starts this year, no earned runs.
Yeah,
been really good. Right. So what's happened to his rotation? What's happened to his spin rate since it became a capital offense?
It went down.
It's a good question.
I believe it had. How much?
Do you know the answer? Or?
No, I don't.
He's actually looking for the answer. I don't know that answer.
I will get it for you
because
tomorrow.
I'm telling you, his spin rate, his numbers, his fastball, his pitches. Now he had some command issues, but that happens with young kids. Widener, if he didn't lose too much spin rate, he's a guy you better watch. You better be careful of moving forward because he has the arm and he has the ability. It's just a matter of whether he can command it.
Aside from Merrill Kelly, he had been their best starter. His last start was not good.
No, it wasn't. 2 starts in a row over 5 earned runs, or 5 earned runs in both, I think.
I'm trying to pull up the spin rate right now. Let's see where it is.
That's what I want.
Okay, so on the 4-seam fastball, his spin. Well, but you want it over the last couple of starts. This has 2021.
How about just from early season, from April? That would be okay. I mean, what's the spin rate? Yeah, I guess since it's been, like I said, since they've made it a capital offense.
I'm going to tell you what, they're all down from last year, pretty significant. He was 23.97 on the 4-seam fastball last year, 2020, the 60-game sprint. Now he's down to 21.74. That's 120.
That's significant.
Less.
It doesn't seem like much with a number like 2,300, but it's significant. Yeah.
He's down about 60 on the slider, and he's down over 100 on the changeup.
Yeah.
But the changeup can be spin. I mean,
yes, it can. Absolutely.
The 4-seamer is the big drop from 2020 to 2021.
Okay.
Individual starts, I don't have that
one. Do they have the 2019 spin rates?
Daily matchup. They did.
Look at his 2019 spin rates.
I can tell you.
Crazy good, I bet you. Crazy good.
Where did I just have that?
Because that's when he kind of when he flashed,
Pitch tracking. No, as a matter of fact, they only go to 2020. They don't go to 2019.
That's too bad.
But let me see this.
Well, there's a place to get those numbers. We'll just have to round them up.
Yeah, Yeah, son of a gun.
But John,
Yes, sir.
I know you said about 48 minutes ago, you said you had an appointment in 48 seconds. So we better let you go to your appointment.
Oh, it's dinner. It's dinner. Here in the East Coast, we eat earlier than you guys on the West Coast.
Yes. Guess what time we eat dinner here in Vegas?
Probably whenever you want.
No. There's a cutoff. I can't possibly eat before 10 at night. Never. It's too hot.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. 'Cause that does zap your appetite.
Yes, it's too hot.
Yeah.
So the sun's down. It's cooled off. I've been in the pool a couple times, and I'm that 40-60% THC coma crap is finally wearing off a little bit, so I can open my mouth fully and bite.
I don't know, Rob. Someday you're going to have to explain to me what he just said. It sounds like he's got a lot of physical ailments.
Yeah, I heard THC. I heard that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's my wife. How much did you pay for that? That's gold. That's gold, baby.
God, Tony, his hard hit percentage is up pretty solid, too. It was only 37.3 last year. It's 45 now.
If you're not moving, if that ball's not moving, if it doesn't have some kind of a movement and it's not commanded properly, then in this day and age, it doesn't matter. You can throw 105 miles an hour, but if you're gonna groove that baby down the middle of the plate with no movement, it's gonna get crushed.
They're gonna get it.
Yep.
Unless you're Joey Gallo.
Unless you're Tony Finn
in the Bronx tonight, because you're gonna get booed out of that place.
Because if you're Tony Finn, even then you're gonna have to really be stoned. You're just gonna look by. You're gonna say, "Wow, that was fast, man."
And
lead us out of here, John.
Humbly said Xander Schauffele won the gold medal, as I predicted.
Oh.
Who's she?
Xander.
Who's she?
Well, we're not talking about that 1980s dumb movie. We're talking about a golfer in the PGA Tour.
Olivia Newton-John. Olivia Newton-John.
Transgender.
Ooh. There is one in the Olympics, a transgender.
Yes, there is.
I read the article today.
Yes, I read it this morning.
She is a
qualified.
Some field event. Oh, okay. There you go.
She qualified for something.
Yeah, I thought it was a
there
field event.
There was questions about her qualifications. How do you have to have a certain amount of I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't read the whole thing through, so I'm not sure. What
was the name of the tennis player that was always in the news? What was her name?
Renee Richards.
That's her. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, Gillian Nastasi was in the news too because.
Yeah, but that was because he was a lot like me. He didn't have a filter.
Romanian.
Well, yes, if you I can say this in the chat room. If you want to see some humorous that would make John McEnroe look like a child when he would yell at the umpire, watch Gillian Nastasi.
But you had to speak Swahili, though, and I didn't speak Swahili.
Yeah, and he knew where his middle finger was, and he dropped his drawers upon occasion right to the head chair person at Wimbledon.
Can't be doing that.
Wow.
Although David Cohn dropped his right in the bullpen.
That's true. The memories we have. Mm-hmm. They should make a song called Memories.
The things we...
Barbra Streisand.
Oh, yeah, it does exist. Yeah. See, I thought I had a unique idea there.
I don't think it's
like the colors of my mind.
It's called something else, but not Memories.
Yeah.
Okay. Do not make me start singing Barbra Streisand, because then there will be questions about certain things.
So our bets tonight are 3 bets, and I'm gonna keep track of this going forward. So we are transparent, the word I hate. We're just honest. We're keeping honest track record of our free picks on the show.
Do we really keep track of them?
We are going to start now. I mean, I could go all the way back and put it together, but I know it's winning.
But why?
Why?
Let me just tell you what mine are.
Nobody can bet the games then.
They're perfect. They're perfect. I think they're perfect whether they won or lost. They're perfect.
I'm on it. It's like saying this. I'm on a 73% MLB run. I have 3 picks tonight. A new client could get 2. I mean, they didn't participate in the 16-6. Otherwise, they wouldn't be a new client.
That's pretty good. That's
right.
So I got it. Listen, I'm on a 14-1 heater.
Whoa.
I know, right? 14-1 totals.
That's more than a heater. Totals. Man.
Oh, man.
14-1 Major League totals run. 14-1. I test it tonight. But you don't have to buy me. Do not buy me. Because I already gave it to you.
Why the hell am I?
So now you got to go back and listen, folks. It's not in Tampa.
I won. I have won 18 straight totals before Major League Baseball, which I think is. People say all the time, well, 18. You can probably flip a coin and get heads 18 straight times. I said, well, please, if that coin has two sides, I want that coin. If you think that's possible, because I can't do it, I promise you.
All right, guys. Great run there, Tony Finn. I think you should go buy his plays and get a month package or more. Get the rest of his Major League Baseball season.
Just wait for football.
The illegal tampering period has started. There's been 7 signings in the last 12 minutes. Tim Hardaway Jr. just signed for $18 million a year.
Did he really?
4 years. For 4 years.
His dad's got to be saying, "Listen, son, I paved the way for you. Wear my cut."
What a player he was.
So, thanks, guys, for your time. We're back here tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Maybe.
Thanks for.
I'll try.
That's true. We are on a flexible show, but we usually start between 4 and 4:30, or at least I go monologue, and it wasn't too bad today. Nobody left. I was kind of surprised by that.
Nobody was here.
Well, I was telling George Carlin jokes, and I think that's why they stayed.
like George Carlin.
But on behalf of Tony Finn, Rob Veno, myself, the Predictive Playbook, sportsmember.com, and everybody else. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. And may all the wins be yours.
George Carlin, Renee